Anyways, let me lubricate my lips for those lies Shane Dawson's about to tell.
I'm losing my mind. Why? Because you message drama channels! Oh my god.
So, welcome to the circus. My final thoughts on the beauty world. A few questions that I've been getting lately. 1, did I know that she was thinking about making a video? Yes. 2, did I tell her to make a video? No. 3, did I have involvement in the video? No. 4, did I orchestrate it? No. 5, did I need any kind of drama to make a good series? No. Have I ever ruined a career to make someone look bad in my 15 years on YouTube? No.
Hi everyone, it's me again, and Squish Gang is present. It's just me more, so they're over there. And today we're going to be talking about the first episode in Jeffree Star and Shane Dawson's duo comeback series type beat. Not combat, they're not fighting anybody. Well, their fans will be fighting for their lives in my comment section. So we're going to be talking about that. I want to do like really quick, simple recap videos of each one of the episodes as they air. Just as like a fun little video for me to make to kind of talk about it with you guys in the comment section and kind of gossip a little bit, because I feel like it would be fun. I am now Debbie Ryan. Don't ask me why. Links, sources, Amazon, Patreon, all linked down below, along with ways to support the channel. I am thinking of doing a live stream on the 4th of November. I think I'm going to. I would like to talk about like current drama and situations with videos I've made and just kind of chit chat with y'all. And I think that should be good. And that would be kind of a fun thing to do, I think. So just 2 parts of the video, because all we're going to be talking about is just my point by point. I'll go through the episode with you all, and then I'm going to talk about key points in the video that kind of are hypocritical or problematic in my point of view, based on like the way that Shane is portraying himself and the situations that occurred over the past couple of years. So yeah, part 1, breakdown of the first episode. Part 2, just key points. So let's get right into it. If you see me looking over, I'm just checking the viewfinder to make sure it's still recording, because I am doing a different way of recording than I did last time. Instead of using OBS Labs, I'm doing it like right on the camera. So I just want to see how that works. The video immediately opens with a sponsorship, which I just kind of dissociated the whole time. I think it was something to do with bed sheets. Then Shane opens with filming a closet tour, and he's filming on his iPhone, and he explains that he's not sure what the next series is going to be about, and he was thinking that it would be about him, like the mind of Shane Dawson or something like that, despite the fact that he has very obviously been at the center of all of his series. Like, since when were they not all at least kind of about Shane Dawson, especially the first series with Jeffree Star? That was like mostly from the point of view of Shane Dawson.
You know, I want to make something soon. Like, I want to do something I'm really excited about. I'm like, I really want to do another documentary. I don't know what it's going to be about. I don't know who it's going to be on, but I just got that feeling. So I just prayed, and I'm like, God, bring somebody into my life to do a documentary about. Like, I want to do something. I love editing those. Like, I feel like I'm getting that juice on there, and I was like, who should I do? And there was a lot of good ideas, but a lot of people were saying, do one on yourself. And I'm like, well, I can't interview myself. I thought, you know, this could be actually kind of funny. Like, if we just go through one of my days, I thought it would be fun if you ask me questions throughout the day. Let's start tomorrow. I'm tired.
I think one of the only ones that I would argue was not like super about Shane would have been like the TanaCon one and maybe the Jake Paul one. The Jeffree Star Pallet series was very much centered around Shane's experiences, so that was very strange to be like, oh my god, it can actually be about me for once. It's like, what? Are they not all about you? Like,
it makes it even worse when you see what you're wearing.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't invite you because I thought you would want to come, because I was like, oh, you're not going to want to be involved in this. It's going to be like chaotic and kind of like, here's the thing. Okay, here's what we're doing. So we're starting the series with Jeffree, and the whole idea is making my own makeup line. He's kind of in control of the whole thing. So he was like, hey, I have a car picking you up at 5 o'clock and you're getting on a private jet and we're going to something makeup related. There's going to be like a lot of people there. I'm freaking out, and I know you kind of are too, because we both have a fear of flying.
Then he goes back to the closet tour section, makes a bunch of like unfunny I was in the closet jokes, which Adam McIntryre pointed out that he made in the first series as well.
So then there are many in the closet jokes which happen while Shane is in the closet showing off his clothes. And it cuts between that of him showing off his clothes, I'm in the closet, ha ha ha, to footage of his coming out video where he comes out as bisexual from years and years ago, which I don't know if you remember, but is a gag that he literally did in his last series with Jeffree. Like, this is literally something that he did. I don't know if you remember, but remember when they were getting on the plane and Rylan was upset that Shane wasn't bringing him on the private jet, and it was him and Andrew going, and they were in the closet, and Shane makes in the closet jokes, and it cuts to his coming out video then. So there really hasn't been that much originality or creativity flowing within the past few years because the same jokes are being made.
In regular Shane Dawson fashion, this video is not without stock footage. Tons and tons and tons of stock footage. And then there's conversations as well about trying to find trends for, well, at this time, 2020. So it bounces around between now and 2020 so many times with such similar shots overlaid in similar places that I honestly got lost quite a few times. So yeah, I love that. And I'm not watching it again. I put on Twitter like a picture of me watching it or whatever. And then like I was getting replies that I was like brave. The best part about Shane getting canceled was I had an excuse to get rid of my conspiracy palette without feeling bad, because mine hard panned and like dried out, even though not only was it always closed and clasped, it was kept in the box. And when I first bought it, you had to take the back of like a shadow brush like this type of thing, and you had to like gouge the pigment out. You could not get the shadows to like the red, the yellow, and the orange. I had to gouge with the back of a brush to get the pigment out. So mine was, they talked about, I don't remember if it was in a series or if it was people afterwards, but people were talking about that they were like overtly hard pressed. A lot of the palettes, mine was one of them that was really, really bad, where like you could rub the red with your finger and like nothing would come up. It'd be like clean. It was ridiculous, especially for how much I paid for it, because I'm from Canada. So not only was I getting like absolutely shafted by conversion, it was also like I had to get it shipped from LA or whatever. I actually just gave it to somebody right before I moved from finishing my undergrad. Then there's a section about moving to Colorado, and this is where you notice the switch between Shane Dawson iPhone filmographer, Shane Dawson filmographer, and Chris. There's a whole scene where Chris and Shane are like kind of flirty, and it has this like this circusy music. It's so weird and like uncomfortable, and I can't imagine how like Rylan feels, especially because like these are getting edited into videos with like millions of views.
Happy to be here. Colorado's my happy place, so.
You're my happy place.
Other than that, horrible. But
Wait, what do you mean? Why?
I don't know. Life's hard. You know. You get it.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Also, there's just like lotion and napkins in the background of the shot.
That's because Rylan, he jerks off because he can't fuck me.
No!
Upon me watching it last night, finishing it today, and rewatching some of it just to make sure I had the right order of notes, it was #1 on trending. So good for Shane, I guess, and maybe good for me. Who knows? Let's see how many besties come in today. So there's more footage going back and forth between now and 2020 with Shane and Jeffree in the lab creating kind of a second palette, to which Shane had been taking pictures around his environment of colors that he liked to put into the palette, and was saying that he wanted a bit more of a cohesive color story. So that was him listening to the complaints about the initial palette being really disjointed, which I agree with to a huge extent, because I remember like not really understanding how to use that very well. He's still trying to keep up to like the soft boy act and the like, I'm not that rich, I'm not that successful, I'm just that girl, and you know, that that little Shane Dawson that we all love and respect, and nobody has seen any of my weird Twitter tirades or anything like that, and I'm 34 years old, but I'm acting like I'm 18. Still kept up that whole thing, which even when I was like a fan, I suppose, for the very short time that it was like a year of my whole life, it was still strange to me. It was always quite something that I was kind of confused about. Then they introduced the puppy, Riley, the only part of the video I liked. Did we get a shot of Cheeto at some point? The cat? the infamous cat. That one was for us. Him showing Cheeto was for the commentary channels. You can't tell me that it wasn't. That was for us. That was for the commentary girls to give us a little nod to us, I think. More Pallet stuff goes back and forth again. They talk about, then it jumps to like Ryland and Shane talking about like having a child. While they're having this conversation, there's more Pallet making footage laced through it, which completely is so disjointed and breaks up the conversation that they're having in the first place. So it was just like so strange.
Extra like, oh dear lord. Okay, let's keep going.
Whoa. Hi kitties. Wait, so since this is stressful,
Yes.
speaking of, you guys having a baby?
Yeah, so on Ryland's channel, we've been documenting the journey, which is going to be weird because we don't want to ever show our kid. So it's kind of like if we did the whole Jeffree conspiracy series, and then if I just like never showed the Pallet. But whatever.
I mean, we can't never show our child. The child just isn't going to be the focal point of the videos.
No, we can't show our child. Well, okay, maybe we can show pieces of the child. Pieces? Yes, like a hand, an arm, a leg, but never the face. Yeah, so what were we talking about? Oh my god, having a baby. Yeah, we've been through the journey.
We haven't been through the journey.
I mean, we're on the journey.
We're on the journey. We have a surrogate. Our donor's about to start IVF, and hopefully we're going to pop out a kid soon.
If all goes right, I think by next July, we're going to have a cancer baby.
No way.
I know, can you imagine? We don't know whose sperm we're using because we haven't got to that part yet. They have to like cook it up and see which one's better. We'll use whoever's is better. Or we were thinking twins, one of each. Or honestly, at this point, we are so excited to have a kid that we don't care. I don't care.
Yeah, I mean,
somebody could literally drop a kid off in our truck and I'll take it.
we're ready for any possibility, honestly.
Oh my god.
Okay, Riley, this is a lot.
There's not really room back there.
Where's the baby gonna go?
I guess
in the truck.
we'll have to get rid of some animals.
I don't know, I'm just really happy with where we are right now. Where I am, where you are, where Chris is, where the dogs are, the cat is.
There's so much happening back here.
Why, baby, why? Why, baby, why?
Oh my god. Riley? Oh no. That's bad, that's bad.
Okay, well, it's too much.
I got her.
Find a string of rope there somewhere. We don't have much time at hand. So first we have to understand why.
After the vet, should we go and get them all puppuccinos? I really just watched this video. So this was like one of my favorite colors. And I took a screenshot of, there's a scene in the last series where you're holding a green cup. And I was like, that color. Ooh, I love that.
Wow. Oh wow. Yeah, that's such a
So then transitions to closer to now in Colorado, where Shane is talking to Ryland's family, and it begins with Ryland's grandma essentially saying that she would have hooked up with Shane.
Oh, I am. I'm thinking if I was younger and you was older, I would be involved with you.
That is
Really?
not what I expected, Mom.
Really? Wow. I'm gonna cry. That's so nice.
Well, I don't know. I just like you.
Oh.
And then there's a whole pity party with Shane and Ryland's parents asking about his cancellation. And, oh, you were in a really dark place. And then Ryland's mom goes on this whole rant about how Shane, the Pallet, wasn't a cash grab and people were wrong and it was a passion project, and how she was so mad that people were commenting on Shane and so mad that they were saying that he wanted the money or whatever. And this whole kind of conversation, which we'll get more into in the next section. But then it moves back to the lab. This is a nitpick, okay? For the Shane fans that are looking to call me a nitpicker, here is, I'm granting this one to you. But tell me why the lady was mixing pigments with her bare ass hands. That was driving me nuts. What do you mean? Like bare hand, just the dogs. Well, the dogs are the feet. Are these cats? If feet are dogs? Answer in the comments. But anyways, just these little nubbies. Just all up in the pigments. I was just like, oh my god. Shit, I don't know. I just Shane Dawson's fingers on my eyeballs, like.
Oh my god, I love it. Oh, it looks so cool. A little bit more oil.
Oh wow, okay.
And then ends with the dramatic section where Shane talks about how he wants to reveal what was supposed to be the second palette with Jeffree. And Jeffree says, well, I would like for you to meet with me in person and we could film it, blah, 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 blah. So it ends with like a grayscale shot, which they did in the first series of the palette colors. And then he's like flying to Casper, Wyoming to see Jeffree Star. Adam McIntryre said this, and I think there's definitely truth to this as a possibility. I would say too that if this ends up happening, then Shane learned nothing for real. Adam McIntryre thinks that Shane and Jeffree are just doing this so that people will feel bad about the palette that they missed. Will kind of like beg them to release it, and then they'll release another palette. Because Shane also talks about like, in either it was like voiceover or at the very beginning being like, I know it's not going to be as successful as a conspiracy palette, and I'm not going to have a series around it or whatever. But like, I think that was kind of edited after the fact and made to look like it was at the same time, because especially if it's February 2020, that palette had been out of stock with only a very small restock for several months at that point. So we're getting to part 2, just kind of discussing some key points. There is this weird idea, like I mentioned, that Shane was not at the center of most of his series. If you think about the first series, there was the weight loss arc. There was talking about Morgan and like what found out to be the tart trip. There were conversations about Shane getting ripped off by past deals on like Amazon and stuff like that. How his videos and his relationship with people like Jeffree Star have adapted and changed. And a lot of those different things. And Shane's color choices, the people he was involved with, sending PR packages, and people having videos, which for those of you that are outside of like the Foodie Beauty, Amberlynn Reed, whatever community, Shane Dawson features somebody in the first series named Shanny for Christ, who actually got banned off of YouTube for abusing her children. So Shane's really good at vetting who are in the videos. I'm saying that with the utmost level of sarcasm. Next part I want to talk about is that he will not name Andrew. He will not name his previous videographer, Andrew, who now works with Garrett Watts on his videos and did the Sweepway podcast with him. It's just weird that he won't even name him. My old videographer, my old employee. Like, you guys weren't friends, and there wasn't a shade of lipstick named after him in the collection, and he didn't, I think Andrew designed the actual like palette box on Photoshop, like the one that ended up being the final one, because the one that like Jeffree Star's lady kept bringing in, like Shane kept denying them all. The part with Ryland's parents in particular I want to talk about as well, that was very strange, because Ryland's mom kind of goes on this thing that like Shane didn't deserve any of the flack that he got, and that it was like completely out of nowhere, almost as if, because he said like, oh, well, I don't know how people thought it was a cash grab. You were doing makeup and you obviously loved it or whatever.
Okay, there's another situation that I want to ask you about.
Oh, okay.
Let me think though. Well, this is where I get in trouble, because I like to speak up and I can't say it online, because I had to quit talking online because I would like things when I, you know.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so I stopped online. So during the Jeffree series,
Okay.
do you want to talk about that?
What about it?
Okay, so I always feel like people acted like you did this big money grab, and you won't address it, plus you haven't talked about it with us.
No.
And I don't feel like it was a money grab, but you never address it. What I felt like happened is you started that documentary with Jeffree Star, and you went into it, and then you really got interested in what he was doing, and then it became a business opportunity and kind of something like, you get really excited when there's something new and you want to make it something of your own, and you want to see what will happen, and you know what I mean? But for people to say it was a money grab has just always made me so mad, because to me it was more about, gosh, let's see really what we can do here together, and what will happen if we do this. It wasn't like, oh yeah, let's get rich off of this whole makeup thing. That wasn't it at all. It was more excitement, and it was excitement for the whole family. Like the day you guys went to the Mall of America, I just sat here and watched every little newsfeed I could find on it. It was exciting. It was exciting for all of us. And then people just acted, oh, not everyone, but a lot of people acted like it was just a planned money grab.
So I don't address it because I do get upset about it, and I just don't want to.
Not mentioning that he made a makeup channel he never used. He made that Twitter tirade about the beauty community unprovoked. He did not express any interest in makeup prior to that series or publicly after that series. And if you are a public figure selling things to the public expression should be present. Shitting on the beauty community once he made the Rex. That part, I think, was solely designed to kind of cloud the memory of the people that haven't seen anything happen since 2020, right? Because it has been a couple of years. But I think in that way, with him not interjecting, that maybe he incited some things, or that he was kind of argumentative online. Not to mention the when the Toddy video came out, the live stream that he had where he's like, ugh, that liar, when he's like screaming, you know what I mean? Like none of that was mentioned. So this is definitely like, or allegedly a rewriting of history in like the weirdest way possible. And I just really found that to be quite distasteful. Okay, so this is the final thing I want to end off with. So Shane Dawson talks about how he didn't make that much money on the palette. Not nearly as much as people thought. People thought I cleared $10 million.
Fascinating, like, oh, money. Because yeah, the truth of it is I did not make anywhere near what people think I made, which I think that's another thing. People thought I made like 10 or $20 million on it. I did not. You know, and financial stuff aside, like being very honest, the first palette did very well, but the cost of goods is crazy. So like, yes, the palette made like 30 million whatever dollars, but then the cost of goods was literally $20 million. So it's like, okay, take that away. And then after that, you know, it was all the people involved in the company. Then after that, like my cut, my 25% or whatever it was after so many cuts. And then after that, and then I gave my coworker at the time 25% of what I made from it. So after all was said and done with taxes and everything, yeah, it was a great amount of money that I'm so blessed and proud of and so grateful for, because it helped with getting this house in Colorado. And you know, but like, was it like I can retire now money? No, it wasn't like I made $20 million, I'm gonna retire. Like, it wasn't that. But thank God, because if somebody handed me enough money to where I could like retire and stuff, I don't know what I would do. It would and I wanted to be honest about the numbers because I didn't talk about that in the finale because I didn't know yet. Listen, I would be honest, if it was something that I regretted and I was like, oh, yeah, I just did that for the money and whatever, I would talk about it because I think that's interesting, like reflecting on something. But yeah, that was not about the money at all. And
so we're going to do some quick math, okay? Based on what he said, this is obviously an approximation and is alleged. However, he said that there was $30 million generated from revenue. Okay, so then the amount of money that they made, like that was paid into it, right? 20 million got cut right off the top to pay Jeffree Star's employees, packaging, advertisement, etc., right? So there's 10 million left. Shane and Jeffree split it 50-50, and then he stated that his previous employee got 25% of that. 25% of 5 million is about 1.25 million. We're going to do approximate and round because I don't care. And then, so that leaves 3.75 million. Okay, so then if Shane said after taxes, right, then there's also taxes, 3.75 divided, so if let's say it's 50% tax because he lived in California, and I know that's not quite how income taxes work, but let's just say 50% comes right off the top, he is still left with $1.875 million. That also does not include sponsors from the series, AdSense from the series, merchandise sales, restock sales, and any royalties. 1.875 million, let's pretend if that's the only thing he made, is life-changing money to make in one instance, even in a year and a half. That's like 100K a month. Maybe that's wrong. Wait, 100K would be 10. This is 18 sets of 100. Yeah, no, about 100K a month. Who's making 100K a month and says it wasn't a lot of money? That's me, the math police, who probably did math well, but, you know, he's still trying to play poor. It's so fucking ridiculous. I had a tear roll down my face when I bought my camera. Okay, and let me tell you, the camera was not $1.875 million. Okay, it was about $1,000 US I'd saved over a year. And like, that was like an unbelievable amount of money for me. And I understand that these things are relative, but at the same time, 1.875 million, approximately, allegedly, isn't even debatable relatively anymore, really, at that amount. Again, especially because he's obviously negating a whole bunch of other factors that would generate a ton of revenue. That series garnered like over 200 million views and about an hour a piece. The AdSense on that, I can't even fathom. It had to have cleared like 20K a video minimum. I understand he was demonetized, but he already he had those AdSense checks and ran, but way before that, right? So, or he was demonetized for a point, like Shane Dawson. We're going to conclude the video here. Links, sponsors, Amazon, Patreon, all that kind of stuff, all linked down below. Comment what you think about the series, if you want me to keep watching the videos and recapping them here really quick, nice and fast. And that's it. And I hope you all have a good day wherever you are, and I'll see you when I see you. Bye!
No thanks. I choose my own destiny.